Good afternoon, Dr. Joelle, Mrs. Lyons, Dr. Schlinger, faculty, staff, and my fellow students. In the Jewish tradition, one of the most important holidays is called Passover, which celebrates the escape of Jewish people from slavery in Egypt. In the story of Passover, one lesson always stood out to me. It's about 4 different sons. The first one was called the wise son. He knew everything about the Passover story and taught his son about the meaning of Passover. Then there was the wicked son. He decided not to tell his children about Passover because he didn't think it was important. The third son was referred to as simple because he did not know what anything meant about the Passover story. Finally, there was the son who did not know how to ask anything about Passover because he wasn't taught about it. The last son really stands out to me because it shows the consequence of not sharing your traditions with others. Every year on Passover, we host a Seder, which means order, as a part of the Passover tradition. In the Seder, we always go through the whole prayer book, which is over 100 pages, even though we are hungry and tired. My grandpa, who called himself Saba, which means grandpa in Hebrew, would always lead the service. He would ask us the same questions every year. If we got them right, he would give me and my sister Allie a $1 coin. Allie and I would compete over who could earn more money. Sadly, Saba passed away this summer. I know Passover will never be the same without him, but I am grateful that, like the wise son, he taught us the importance of this tradition, which we can pass down to our future families. On Thanksgiving, my relatives all come to my house. My mother's side of the family lives in Buffalo, so I don't get to see them often. Some of my favorite traditions with them is playing football with my boy cousins. I also love that at night we always play so many games together and use this time to bond. It is important to spend as much time as possible with your family and develop new traditions together. Even when school is very overwhelming and I'm stressed, I can always count on my family to cheer me up. It is very important to have time to play, even though you have very busy schedules. I will always continue to have this to look forward to, and never plan on forgetting this tradition. As another family tradition, we always go to Cape Cod in Massachusetts. Allie and my dad, who I call Eric, always goes bike riding on one of the trails and then brag about how far they go. Allie loves showing off how many miles she's able to bike. I was always really interested in having the same experience with Eric, but I was always too young. 2 years ago, though, Allie decided to stay with my mom and read their books. My dad wanted me to go with him. The first time I went biking with him, I didn't know what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised when we started biking. My dad made it so much fun to bike, even when it is long. Also, we always play music through a speaker as motivation. I love biking with him, even though he pushes me very hard. It is meaningful to me to be able to connect with each family member individually and have quality time with them. Eric also goes kayaking in Cape Cod. One time I noticed a sandbar from the shore. I was really curious about seeing it up close, so I asked Allie if she would come with me. I loved being able to find seashells in the middle of the ocean. I got to experience a new adventure with Allie. I long to see the sandbar again and have more time to be with Allie. We always try to see the sandbar every time we go on vacation, and it's become a fun tradition with my big sister. When we go to Cape Cod, we have a very peaceful vacation to get away from all the chaos. My mom has always told me the importance of reading and finding the book you love. Since she's always reading, she encourages me to read with her. She is the best role model I could ever ask for. I have the privilege of having a mom that is also a teacher and understands the importance of reading and how it can be beneficial. In Cape Cod, my whole family sits on the beach and reads. Even though we are not talking while we read, we are still very connected. To me, reading is more enjoyable in a relaxing environment instead of being forced. It is a family tradition that not only connects us, but also helps with self-improvement. This is how I discovered a love for reading. All these traditions have a special place in my heart. Every time I either celebrate Passover, Thanksgiving, and go to Cape Cod, I feel like I'm honoring each one in their own ways. Having these traditions that may seem little to some, but are really very special to me. I pledge to never let any of these traditions be forgotten, since they are very meaningful to me. So remember the story I told you about Passover. Do not be like the wicked son who disregarded his traditions, causing them to be lost for future generations. Instead, be like the wise son who remembers the importance of his heritage and how these traditions connect us to the past and future. Thank you.